Heya Cryptozens, welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus and we do crypto news analysis nightly at 10 p.m. And keep in mind, none of this should be considered financial advice.
It's Saturday, March 18th, 2023. You know, some people just can't seem to stay out of the news. 3, potentially 4 bank crashes happening, and we got to talk about this narcissist. Now, one of these people, Sam Bankman-Fried, his lawyer is going to present a new bail package to Judge Lewis Kaplan, as the judge was not pleased with SBF's use of encrypted messaging apps and VPN while he's on bail. For example, while out on bail, SBF used Signal to contact his former colleagues in a way that could be perceived as witness tampering. Judge Kaplan said that SBF cannot use these apps and warned that he may lose his bail privileges if he doesn't follow the rules. Christian Everdell is the lawyer representing Sam Bankman-Fried. He has revealed that he and federal prosecutors have been working hard to come up with a set of bail conditions that will address the concerns raised by the government and the court. Everdell wrote a letter in which he said that they are close to a resolution and that they hope to present the court with a proposed order outlining the conditions by next week. Sam Bankman-Fried maintains that he did not misappropriate funds from FTX users. Even so, he could face up to 115 years in jail if he's found guilty of the 8 charges against him. As FTX undergoes a restructuring process, it has been revealed that the top executives of FTX and Alameda Research received $3.2 billion in payments and loans from FTX-linked entities. Bankman-Fried received the largest portion of those $3.2 billion in payments and loans. He ended up with $2.2 billion. FTX's management is currently investigating whether they have the right to take legal action against the recipients of those funds. Maria Vollo is a former superintendent at the New York State Department of Financial Services, and she has stated that regulators did not close Signature Bank because of its cryptocurrency customers. She said the decision was made based on the withdrawal data. She made these comments during an interview with CoinDesk's First Mover program. Signature Bank closed last Sunday after regulators took action. She said this measure was taken to prevent further contagion after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. The Federal Reserve, the FDIC, and the U.S. Treasury Department issued a joint statement saying that the depositors at Signature Bank would be reimbursed. Vollo was the superintendent at the department from 2016 to February 2019, and she agreed with recent statements made by the current superintendent, Adrian Harris. Vollo stated that Signature Bank did not provide reliable and consistent data. According to Vollo, this led to a crisis of confidence in the bank's leadership. Now, she further added that a bank should only be shut down if its financial picture or risk management is unsafe and unsound, not just for policy reasons. She mentioned that Signature Bank might have been affected by contagion risks, which would have occurred after the closure of Silicon Valley Bank just days before. However, she also noted that the timing of the regulators' actions was important. By addressing the issues with both banks quickly, the regulators were able to reassure the public that the system was stable and that their deposits would be protected. This was crucial in preventing depositors from withdrawing their money from other banks out of fear or uncertainty. But none of this answers a fundamental question. You have a plan. You have a mechanism to save banks by backstopping those losses. You have the resources and the permission needed to carry out that plan. And then you hold a press conference and you announce that you can save banks. And at that same conference, in the very same breath, you announce that Signature Bank is going to die, right after announcing that you have the means of saving it. And we're supposed to believe this has nothing to do with crypto. Now, Silicon Valley Bank fell to a combination of things like losses, uninsured leverage, and an extensive loan portfolio. When compared to other players, it was found that around 190 other banks in the United States may be at a similar risk. The fall of Silicon Valley Bank was a reminder of how fragile the traditional financial system can be. According to a recent analysis by economists, many banks are at risk due to uninsured deposit withdrawals. This analysis said that if only half of uninsured depositors decide to withdraw, almost 190 banks could potentially impair insured depositors, risking up to $300 billion of insured deposits. Central banks' monetary policies can cause losses for banks by hurting long-term assets like government bonds and mortgages. The report further explains that if a bank's assets mark-to-market value is not enough to repay all insured deposits after uninsured depositors are paid, the bank is considered insolvent. The U.S. banking system's asset market value decreased by $2 trillion due to recent increase in interest rates. This decrease in asset value, along with a high percentage of uninsured deposits at some U.S. banks, that poses a risk to bank stability. The study found that the recent decline in bank asset values has made the U.S. banking system more fragile to uninsured depositor runs. The federal government is intervening to protect the depositors of SVB and Signature Bank. President Joe Biden reassured citizens that this intervention would not impact taxpayers. Not everybody believes him. Now, in the meantime, the U.S. House Financial Services Commission will hold a hearing to investigate the collapse of SVB and Signature Bank. Representatives from the usual suspects, in this case the FDIC and the Federal Reserve, they'll give testimony at this hearing. The committee's ranking member, Maxine Waters, and chair, Patrick McHenry, made the announcement on March 17th. The hearing will take place on March 29th. The regulators scheduled to appear before Congress are FDIC Chair Martin Gruenberg and Fed Vice Chair for Supervision Michael Barr. Now, Waters and McHenry lead the House Financial Services Committee, and it appears they are determined to uncover why Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank failed. They announced that a hearing would be held to begin the investigation. On March 10th, Silicon Valley Bank was closed after many large depositors withdrew their money. However, the government intervened to protect most uninsured depositors with over $250,000. However, Signature Bank reportedly didn't have any solvency issues when it closed on March 12th, or rather was closed. But New York regulators gave the FDIC control of the bank anyway. The Fed's Vice Chair for Supervision, Michael Barr, is preparing a report on the Fed's regulation and supervision of Silicon Valley Bank. The SEC and the Department of Justice are also investigating allegations of some executives selling stock before the bank's closure. Now, some lawmakers believe the banks may have collapsed due to their exposure to cryptocurrency firms. However, crypto supporters have argued that regulators are trying to debank blockchain and crypto companies. The House Financial Services Committee plans to hold multiple hearings to examine the issue. And now, looking abroad, the head of the Dutch Authority for Financial Markets, or AFM, has said that the Netherlands will be strict in enforcing new EU crypto rules. In an article published on Friday, AFM Chair Laura van Geest said that the country will take a tough stance, even if that means losing business to other countries. Van Geest expressed concern about cryptocurrency. She said that it's associated with fraud, manipulation, and speculation. She also added that the EU's markets and crypto assets regulation will only address some of these risks, but not all. The MiCA rules will require wallet providers and exchanges to get licenses to operate in the EU bloc, and they'll need to do so in the next 18 months or so. Van Geest said, given the past events, they will not be lenient in enforcing these rules. And honestly, looking around at the wreckage of FTX, Terra Luna's Black Swan event, the recent banking mess, I don't blame them if they decide to be strict about it. I mean, look what's going on right now. The MiCA regulation aims to create a uniform set of rules that will be enforced by national authorities like the AFM. However, some crypto companies may choose to operate in countries with more relaxed regulations. Van Geest would have preferred EU-level supervision, but won't lower their standards to attract business. Van Geest said that a second version of the markets and crypto assets regulation is already being discussed. She pointed out that the current regulation does not address some problematic areas, such as crypto lending, which is probably why they think they need a Part 2. The European Parliament is expected to vote on the law in April. According to Bloomberg, Binance replied to criticisms from U.S. senators in a 14-page letter. That said, this letter did not discuss Binance's finances. Instead, it talked about the company's efforts to follow the law. Binance's chief strategy officer, Patrick Hillman, wrote that letter. The senators had asked for information about Binance's financial situation in a letter on March 1st. However, the response did not give the senators the information that they wanted. Binance and Binance US received letters from 3 senators on the Senate Banking Committee, Elizabeth Warren, Chris Van Hollen, and Roger Marshall. These senators accused Binance of trying to avoid regulators and of helping criminals and those who seek to avoid sanctions. They also said that Binance had not given customers and the public important financial information. The senators asked for details about the relationship between Binance and Binance US. They also asked for information about any discussions Binance CEO CZ may have had about avoiding compliance. The senators requested a response by March 16th. Binance responded to the senators' request on March 16th. However, Bloomberg reported that the response did not provide much of the information that the senators had asked for. The response focused on Binance and its U.S. arms being separate entities, which was emphasized by the company in the letter. The response also talked about Binance's compliance efforts. Binance stated that it has around 750 staff members who work on compliance. Included in that number are people who worked for regulators and in law enforcement. In the letter, Hillman wrote that Binance uses internal tools and third-party software to check user transactions and profiles as they happen. Hillman said that Binance stopped more than 54,000 transactions between August 2021 and November 2022 because of transaction monitoring alerts. A recent hack caused Euler Finance to lose $197 million. And so far, it's the biggest hack of 2023, that I know of anyway. But it may not be the biggest for long, because the hacker changed their mind. On March 18th, the hacker sent back around 3,000 Ethereum. They sent this Ethereum, which is worth around $5.4 million, to Euler Finance's deployer address from their own address. PeckShield found 3 transactions that were used to send the money back. The hacker sent 1,000 Ethereum per transaction to Euler's deployer account. And this has been confirmed. That said, it's unlikely the hacker will give back all of the money because there are no more transactions recorded. At least not yet. Euler Finance offered a $1 million reward on March 16th to find the hacker and to get the money back. The hacker managed to take $197 million and then transferred the funds from the BNB chain to Ethereum using a multi-chain bridge. And then Euler Finance told the hacker to return 90% of the funds within 24 hours. That is, if they want to stay out of jail. So, we'll be watching to see what happens next. Will they return the 90% as required by Euler? We'll see. According to the new Chief Policy Officer of Polygon Labs, smart contracts are really not smart, and they're really not contracts. That's all just techie jargon. Rebecca Rettig believes that using unclear language and technical terms is preventing the growth of crypto and the Web3 industry. She wants to help change this by having experts explain the technology in clear and precise way without using complicated jargon. The goal is to help policymakers understand the true nature of the technology. In an interview with The Block, Rettig stressed the importance of using simple and clear language to explain the technology to others. Rettig defined a smart contract as software that sets out transparent and easily verifiable rules for transactions. However, she believes that using technical terms to describe new technology is confusing. She believes this causes distrust and confusion among the general public, not to mention the lawmakers. So instead of benefiting from the potential of new technology, they're held back. Rettig thinks that using simpler language to describe these concepts could help to change this. Rettig left Aave, where she was general counsel, to join Polygon Labs. And she joined at a time where policy and regulation is a hot topic in the crypto industry. Rettig stated that, as my listeners already know, going after digital assets has become politically popular. She also mentioned that regulatory agencies with the power to enforce laws have been taking action in the aftermath of FTX. However, she believes that Congress will eventually take action and create new laws that apply across the country. According to reports, Microsoft is developing a Web3 wallet that supports cryptocurrencies and NFTs for its Edge web browser. So there's a Twitter user named Albacore, and they are a software documenter. And sometimes they're a software info leaker. Well, they posted a series of screenshots on Twitter on March 17th that purportedly show the initial stages of the new Web3 wallet's user interface. Now, Albacore expressed skepticism about the latest entry to Microsoft Edge's list of upcoming features, one of which is a crypto wallet. They're also unsure how to feel about a default browser incorporating this type of functionality. The initial screenshot depicts an introductory page for the Edge wallet. Microsoft appears to be requesting feedback during the wallet's development. They stated, quote, "We encourage you to test our first Web3 wallet and provide candid feedback along the way." Now, if the reports are accurate, the wallet will be non-custodial, meaning that Microsoft will not have access to users' passwords and recovery keys. Additionally, the wallet will be embedded within Edge, rather than requiring a separate browser extension. The other screenshots depict the wallet's ability to swap, send, and purchase cryptocurrency assets. The wallet appears to be integrated with Coinbase and MoonPay. The user interface for NFTs is straightforward, with a message, "Browse different marketplaces to find your first NFT. As you build your NFT collection, we'll organize them here." Microsoft's reported decision to incorporate a crypto browser in Edge is part of an effort to increase the browser's features and capabilities. Edge has been historically less popular than competing browsers like Chrome or Safari. On February 7th, Microsoft announced upgrades to its Bing search engine and Edge browser, including the integration of AI-powered search engines and chat functionality through OpenAI's ChatGPT. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, please like, follow, subscribe. Leave a rating or a review. And in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.